lunch, 89 overs down. India are 211 for the loss of 7 wickets. We've got Craig joining us. Hill Jamieson for New Zealand. Accuracy to adaptability, he just checked all the boxes.
Yeah, he's been outstanding right throughout this test match. He's not conceding many runs, he's putting the ball in difficult areas for the Indian batsmen, and he's picked up some key wickets. So a good session for New Zealand. They needed to bounce back after a disappointing day one.
When you look at him, he's a tall, strong lad. You'd imagine he brings raw pace. But the way he's bowled today, it's not been the case. He's been controlling the runs, picking up the wickets.
Yeah, with his height, he gets extra bounce. And when you're batting, that extra bounce can trouble you. So he's got excellent control. There's a lot of movement for the bowlers, so they're nice conditions to bowl in. But he's made a real splash in Test cricket since he's come into this New Zealand side. I think he's averaging something like 14 or 15 in Test match cricket, which is unheard of. That will obviously change over the years, but what he's added to this New Zealand side is huge. He's an X-factor bowler, and he's a bit different from the likes of Southey, Bolton, Wagner, so he complements him really well.
Well, you said it yourself, he has made a splash. He debuted last February for New Zealand in Test cricket, but in a side that already has Southey and Bolt and Wagner, what has he done to cement his place in this team?
Well, he keeps performing and picking up wickets, so you know, he's been an absolute star since he started, so that's changed the balance of the New Zealand lineup, because ideally I think they'd like to have a spinner in the side, but perhaps have the three-seamers, a spinner and an all-rounder, but Jamieson's been so good that you can't leave him out. So now New Zealand play with 4-seamers and the all-rounder, and in these conditions where the ball's moving and swinging, I think it's a pretty good attack. But remembering he's pretty new still to international cricket, he hasn't been around a long time, but he's showing how good he is and how good he's going to be over the coming years for New Zealand.
When you talk of India's batting, the setup for Rishabh Pant's wickets specifically, 6 overs that were maidens, and then Pant gets out. Do you think the pressure of that dry spell is what forced Pant to play that shot?
Well, Rishabh Pant, we know, likes to hit the ball and he likes to score, so New Zealand denied him that for a long period of time, and I think he maybe just got a little bit frustrated, saw a ball that was pitched up and thought, right, I'll drive. And it's a tough pitch to drive on because there is movement, and nicked off, good catch at second slip. So that was really important by the New Zealand bowlers to deny Pant the opportunity to score easy runs. And that was a key wicket for them this morning.
It's getting slightly warmer here, and we're all set for another session in a while from now. Where do you think India's going to get, given what we've seen?
Well, I hope New Zealand can pick up 3 quick wickets after lunch. I can see some blue sky, which we haven't seen for 3 days. So that's encouraging. I think we'll get a good day of Test cricket ahead. If India gets somewhere around 2:30, I still think that's a good score on this pitch. And batting's going to be hard for this New Zealand team, because this Indian bowling lineup, they'll be licking their lips and looking forward to bowling on the surface as well.
Awesome. Craig, thank you so much for talking to us. You said it was the skies are blue, and we are looking forward to another session post-lunch. We will see you at tea. At lunch, New Zealand are 1 runs for the loss of 5 wickets. We've got Craig McMillan joining us. New Zealand started off the day 101 for 2. Are you happy with this session? How are you feeling?
No, I'm not happy. I thought India's session by far, I mean, they bowled beautifully. A little bit slow, a little bit short and wide in the first hour, but after drinks, they got things right. They got the reward, the catching was good. And for Kane Williamson, second best batsman in the world, to only score 7 runs in 2 hours shows how difficult run scoring is at the moment.
The Indian bowlers didn't give the Kiwi batsmen too much breathing space, but would you have liked the Kiwi batsmen to have approached this session slightly differently, if at all?
Well, look, I think you're right. There wasn't many loose deliveries, and that was the good thing from India's point of view, is that New Zealand never got away. So while I didn't think they were as dangerous as what they needed to be in that first hour, they got it right after drinks. So from a New Zealand point of view, well, you can only play what's in front of you, and so far the bowling's been pretty tight. I think after lunch we might see Colin de Grandhomme be a little bit more aggressive, and he's that dangerous sort of player where all of a sudden if he picks up a couple of boundaries, things become a little bit easier. So I'd expect Williamson to continue on as he has, but I'm hoping that de Grandhomme will perhaps go after the Indian bowlers.
Absolutely. You spoke about Kane Williamson. He is their last specialist batsman. What would you like to see him do in this next session?
Well, I'd like to see him score a little bit quicker, but obviously run scoring right throughout this test match has been difficult, because the bowling from both sides has been quality, and the conditions have helped. The ball's still moving around, so it's not easy. So the longer he stays there, then the easier it will get. So It's important that he just bats as long as he can, because New Zealand need a first innings lead, and that's still some way off after that session.
Well, 5 wickets in hand, 2 more sessions to go in this day. What do you see New Zealand's score being so that they feel safe?
Oh, I don't know. That session's rocked me. The last half an hour, things were looking okay, and then India picked up those late wickets. So, again, it's going to be important that those partnerships go all the way through the New Zealand batting lineup, and they've got to get as close to India, ideally with some sort of lead, which will make day 6, which many people thought would peter out to a draw. I think it's going to be a fascinating day's play tomorrow.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for talking to us, Craig. It is lunch at the moment. We will come back to you at the end of this session.